My name is Rhapsody and welcome back to Cobalt Core. Alright, we're moving on to the Gemini. We are continuing to complete the memories. We have 2 more to get for Drake, 3 more to get for Max. So, I've already taken the liberty of tagging Drake, obviously, as we're working on their memories, and I've also tagged books. One of the reasons I tag books here is because the Gemini, one of the reasons is because I've been running books for a bunch of episodes, because they're the newest. I guess I've actually probably played books more than Max at this point. But a large reason to do it here as well is because books generates zero-cost cards, crystal shards, which would give me the ability to manipulate the Gemini core very effectively. Gemini core says after you play a card, toggle both your active cannon and missile bay. So by using those zero-cost cards, I can alternate the active cannon or missile bay to align much more effectively with what I want when I want it. Another thing I'd be capable of doing here is maybe including Isaac, so that I can actually utilize my missile bays a little bit more, generating drones and missiles. Yeah, it's been a while since I put Isaac in the squad. Let's take Isaac, Drake, and books. Main weaknesses here, we don't have defense and we don't have movement. So any offering of defense or movement is going to be taken as at a premium if it is required. I could lose 2 max hull here, we have 8. Remove a card, then gain 1 of 3 common cards. Just remove a basic shot. Sure, let's do it. Get a basic shot out of here. Firewall, Sapphire Shield, or Mage Hand. I'm more than happy to take a copy of Sapphire Shield here. Really useful ability to generate some extra shard. I could even upgrade it to get 2 shield and a single shard out of it, which is really, really good. Especially considering our shield capacity is 4 at a maximum right now. Yeah, taking Sapphire Shield.
Hey, Books!
Hi, Mr. Isaac. Is it okay if I ask you something?
Huh? Oh, my holographic hornet arm. It's a really long and very cool story.
Oh, can you get the cookies out from the top shelf in the kitchen?
Oh. Didn't Perry put those there because she knows too much sugar makes you hyper?
I thought you were cool, man.
Okay. Fine. Just don't tell Barry.
What's the point in 2 cannons if you can't shoot them both at once, says Drake. I am inclined to agree. We're gonna have 2 incoming damage this turn. And I don't want to spend all of my dodge getting out of the way, so I'm looking at something like a basic shot, basic dodge, and Sapphire Shield here for the turn. And then we just accept the hit. I don't want the enemy to armor themselves. Alright, I'm gonna move 1 space over. I'm gonna EMP slug the enemy, preventing them from armoring up, and then I'm gonna summon an attack drone on the other side. Ooh, this is great. We're even lined up to prevent the enemy's attack here. And I can even use my Mage Hand beforehand. That's great. Mage Hand, and then I alternate my cannon to a cannon that can prevent the enemy. They take another damage to the drone, and we can finish them off with a basic shot easily. Ooh, large boulders this early, eh? 2 cost in order to launch an asteroid to the left, forward, and right of a missile bay. Those 2, considering our missile bay are 3 spaces in between, 5 inclusive, from one another, those wouldn't even run into one another if I happened to upgrade this so that it did not exhaust. If I'd cast it from both missile bays, I'd just be able to generate a lot of defense that way. Alternatively, I could upgrade it for its B upgrade and get 2 more asteroids out in the field, still exhausting it. Swizzle Shift is good, and it does provide some movement. Provides some movement as well as some shard upkeep. Between the shard upkeep of having a sapphire shield in this deck and then maybe a swizzle shift for a little bit more movement as well, I could definitely see myself in a position where I can start drafting some cards that actually have reasonable shard costs. I think my main hesitance on large boulders is that it starts to take away from my ability to actually generate drones in that same space as well. Boulders could be turned into geodes after the fact, but I can also generate geodes in a not dissimilar fashion with books by itself. I'm gonna take the swizzle shift. Okay. I mean, I can get 2 upgrades on the bottom line. And for what it's worth, an attack drone upgrade so that it does 2 damage per shot is, I think, huge. Gigantic. If we can focus on getting, like, just an attack drone out that's firing, you know, at the very least 1 turn, it's doing 1 more damage, right? This is a standard upgrade, 1 more damage for a 1-cost card. But if it lives, it is suddenly outperforming most other upgrades in the game. We'd be able to get an upgrade on the attack drone, we'd be able to get an upgrade on the sapphire shield to the 2-shield variety that I'm looking for. We could consider getting the swivel shift to be flippable, so it could even move either which way, or even upgrading the heatsink to be 0 cost. I'm effectively trying to find a line where I feel comfortable with just upgrades over the course of this floor. And I think I found it. I think. Maybe. We'll see. I don't really need to veer out of the way of this one. I'm just going to shield up. I might not even attack. Get a crystal shard in hand. Oh, swizzle shift, eh? Well, sure. Let me get all the way up to full shard. Have 2 shield. Now we're ready to fight. So if I put the attack drone out on the field, it'll block the enemy's missile summon this turn, so I wouldn't have to move. But alternatively, I could just use an EMP slug and then heat sinks 1 space over, and I'll be lined up to take out that missile myself. Okay. Single basic shot takes it out. Then I'm going to use a Corrupted Core to alternate back to directly fire on the enemy with a mage shot, and Crystal just draws 1 more. I'm happy to take 2 damage here. Got to generate some pretty good damage on the enemy as a result. Yeah, so I do want to use the EMP here. Oh, one way of doing that would be attack drone and then just EMP slug to prevent the incoming 3. 2 health on the enemy. And... ooh. Well, here I thought 2 health on the enemy was going to be right. Gonna have to move 2 spaces over myself, and then line the enemies up. You can take 1 damage. I'll keep that drone there, how about that? Finish off with an EMP slug because we can. Pillage and Plunder offered this early, it doesn't make any kind of sense not to take it. Attack for 2 damage, if it kills, gain 1 max health. I'm not going to be able to confirm my usage of that every single time, because I'm going to have drones and things like that doing some damage as well, but this should make our life a lot easier. Making that 1 cost as well, I think that gives enough return that that's the first upgrade that I want to do. Okay. Let's go attack drone. Do Sapphire. I'm gonna move 1 space over and then fire a mage hand. Neat. I don't think Pillage and Blunder would count killing a drone as killing. As much as I might like it to. Big ol' EMP slug right there. And I don't really want to heat sinks right now, if I can avoid it. I'm gonna Corrupted Core. I want to still be able to fire against the missile that's currently being summoned. Unfortunately, the enemy is just getting additional shielding this entire time. That's not great. I'm looking for basic dodge, a single shot. And then parallel shift would actually be really useful. It stops the enemy from getting a single armor this turn, and it gives me a drone shift to be able to use on a future turn to mess with the enemy's positioning in a bit of a better way. Like here, if I move everything to the left, they're going to lose their 2 missiles they're attempting to summon, as well as these 2 shield drones. I'm going to use a Sapphire Shield and then Basic Shot. And yeah, I'm just going to move those over. There we go. So now I just get effectively a free playground here to work with. Let's drop a Mage Hand down on the field. Attack drone. Not the basic shot, and then I'll wait. Already lined up to be able to take out the attack drone. I will now take the generation of the Crystal Shard. And an additional basic dodge. Okay, here we go. An EMP slug to stop the enemy summoning anything here. A basic shot to take out their defensive capabilities. Annoyingly, I don't know if I can kill them this turn. I don't want to. I'm aimed on the wrong side at the moment, is the big problem. Because I've got 3 energy and I've got 3 cards that I can play out of that with 5 1-cost cards in hand. I know that 2 of them are going to be firing from the left, which means I won't have the ability to actually take out the enemy. So I'm looking for like Sapphire Shield, Mage Hand for damage. And then I kind of want a basic shot just to line myself back up. I'll use an attack drone, I guess. Oh, this'll work though. 1 space over and Pillage and Blunder. Hey, that's an extra hull. Meteor, Mining Drill, and Sapphire Shield. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with taking a second Sapphire Shield, to be honest. That said, Meteor also gives me the ability to get a Geo down on the field and some control of my own movement. I really want Meteor too. I'm gonna take it. Now, as for our first upgrade, I feel like second, obviously, Pillage and Blunder. I feel like the attack drone is important. Jumper cables. At the start of combat, gain temp shield equals your missing hull. Well, I'm not taking any damage this turn, so I think for that reason I just let them do whatever they want, pretty much. Block, dodge, Corrupted Core burnout. Completely covered by the temp. I'm gonna use a parallel shift to set up for an attack drone. Now, when my attack drone fires at the end of this turn, it will fire in such a way that the enemy is no longer lined up to me. So I can also use Mage Hand for extra defense here. I should get a Crystal Shard in hand somewhere. Ooh, or I could use Sapphire Shield, Swizzle Shift, and Meteor. That seems much more appropriate. There we go. Lock that with a Geode. Enemy is still attempting to dodge this turn, unfortunately. Put a Crystal Shard in hand. Eventually, I'm just going to have enough resources on the field that it doesn't really matter what the enemy is trying to do. They're not really getting more powerful. We are. I'm gonna gain a dodge, I'm gonna generate a drone, and then I'm gonna fire, moving you over. So I only have to take 2 non-hull damage there. Oh, you're trying to fire a 4 directly at the cockpit. How dare you? How cheeky. I'm gonna fire a basic shot just to move the enemy over. And then I can prevent their hit with a meteor easily. And I'll heat sink out of the way, sure. Try and hide behind some of my crafts. Crystal Shard will alternate the attack for us. Should be happy to see. Setting up for an EMP slug to prevent the enemy from doing any damage. They're going to take another 2 damage this turn. Courtesy of the attack drone. I may have to move my attack drone. Whoa, never mind! I immediately draw back into Pillage and Plunder. Hell yeah. That's more hull. Block Evolution. That is a pretty good way to suddenly pick up some block. Solar Breeze as well. Drones move right, instantly move all mid-row objects 1 space to the right, as well as draw. I do really like the idea of Block Evolution here. I think between Sapphire Shield, Mage Hand, and Block Evolution, as well as the basic block in the deck, I might already be in a position where I don't really need much more shielding. Block Evolution's so good. I'm good at this. No, you aren't. I'm gonna do 6 damage to you with this EMP slug, though. That said, the EMP slug doesn't stop the enemy from doing anything. I'm gonna Sapphire Shield, and then use a Meteor to move 1 over. Incoming damage is now 0. I'll use a Corrupted Core to toggle back. Sure, I'll Swizzle Shift out of there. I do want to get an attack drone on the field, but I also want it to have multiple instances of usage. I'm going to move over, play an attack drone so that it's not lined up with the enemy's hit. Defend 1 more time. That's a great position for that attack drone, thank you. Let's gain a shard in hand and then play that shard out. Honestly, I'm probably just taking this full 3 to the face. Attack and dodge. Block Evolution will have my back here. Let's gain 3 block. And then I even have enough still left over to use a meteor to block the incoming 2. Let's even basic dodge just so that I have some additional evade when I happen to need it. So the enemy has 9 health, so an EMP slug here, plus the hit of my attack drone puts the enemy within range of dying to pillage. Which I'm all about. It's just I now need to make sure that I don't generate any more damage on them until after I've done the pillaging. Got it. Yeah, like here. So I'll use a heatsink. Sapphire. And another basic block. I'll keep my evade for a future turn. There's the Pillage and Plunder. It gets the kill. Another max HP for us. From Hell's Heart. Attack damage equals your missing hull. From Hell's Heart I stab at thee. Now, yes, you can increase your hull, but I guess this does eventually become a really large hit. It's very high cost as well, though. Lose all but 1 hull. It's 8 damage on a single hit. 8 damage on a single hit's pretty good. Don't have to use it if I don't need it. I'm worried if I took from Hell's Heart A, I put myself in a position where I don't really do much damage at all until I start taking big risks. And then a big risk just puts me very, very close to suddenly dying. I don't know if I want that. However, Shard Pack. Gain 1 shield, put 2 crystal shards in your deck. Or upgrade to gain 2 shield and put 2 crystal shards in your hand. Yeah, I'm gonna take the Shard Pack, actually. From Hell's Heart is interesting, though. Gain 1 extra energy on the first turn, or on pickup, your Missile Bay gains armor. I got 2 of those. I would love to have 2 armored Missile Bays, thank you. Let's upgrade a card here. Please give me those 2 crystal shards to hand, thank you. Okay, incoming damage this turn is 2. And jumper cables would only give me 1 turn of freedom with from Hell's Heart. I don't know. All this, let's I guess basic block, attack drone, block evolution. I don't need to move at all. Temp shield's got me. Parallel shift would be pretty good here for the safety of that attack drone. Also, I'm not even taking damage to the missile bay, so definitely the kind of thing I want to do. Let's put a crystal shard in hand. And sure, I'll fire it for 2 damage as well as a new block. Love it. Hey, I can even shift the attack drone back for safety again. If I meteor over to the left, and then I move, I'll take 2 to my hull here. I get to keep a geode around as well for a future turn. I'll parallel shift that over there, use a crystal shard to line myself back up so that I can damage the enemy for 2 with a mage hand. A good heat sink, but it doesn't really help me. I'm gonna gain block evolution. Get back up to full block. Pop another attack drone out on the field. I do like that. Let's have them stand next to one another. Crystal shot to alternate. Crystal shot to alternate. Ooh, another attack drone. Nothing wrong with that. And then I'll gain another basic dodge. I'm more than happy to take 2 to the cockpit here. Dealing 6 back. Yeah, this is probably the point where I let my drones die. Swizzle shift over. Now I have the ability to fire a basic shot into the enemy. Great. I don't actually want that many of them out on the field. Let's fire an EMP slug. I'll move 1 space over and then fire a mage hand as well. Incoming damage to turn is 2. Yeah, no, I don't really want that many of the drones out on the field because I still have my Pillage and Plunder. Ooh, unfortunately, I'm going to be short on the kill this turn with Pillage and Plunder, it looks like. Oh, no, I'm not. 1 space over, basic shot, and then Pillage and Plunder for 1 max hull. It is a lot of max hull. Yeah, I was wondering if I saw another from Hill's Heart, would I do it? Rock Factory. Launch an asteroid at the start of every turn. Medusa Field. Instantly turn every mid-row object into geodes. I already upgraded my attack drone. Yep, from Hill's Heart. I'm not going to give myself time to think about it. Gain 1 energy every time you destroy a mid-row object. There's also Genesis, 1 of 2 common artifacts 3 times, as well as 3 Genesis containers you got to burn out of your deck, playing them for 3 cost, and then draw 2 extra cards per turn, but you're offered 1 less card in post-battle card rewards, and you can no longer skip them. It's gotta be Savage Arm. For my money, it's got to be Brian Eno. Sapphire Cluster Time. I could use an EMP slug to prevent that from doing anything. And get a Crystal Shard, put that in hand. Excellent. I'm going to move to a position where I'm a bit more defended and then fire on the enemy. Unfortunately, I will be taking a hull damage this turn. Strategically, of course. So that my other thing works. It's not strategic, it's fine. Shard pack. And then I'll launch an attack drone that will defend me, as well as advance my aims on board by dealing damage to the enemy. Basic dodge, move over, lining myself up for an EMP slug, 3 more damage to the enemy and preventing their response. Okay, let's pop a basic block first, then I can use a meteor to move 1 to the right, as well as summon a geode to prevent the enemy's real response there. And a crystal shard allows me to toggle back to a position where I can hit the enemy with a basic shot. Okay, heatsink 1 space over, summon an attack drone. Parallel shift that attack drone over, crystal shard, and now we wait. Ooh. An easy alternate and an EMP slug here as well. Gotta love that. Especially in the way that I'm no longer gonna play the crystal shards here, because I know that in my draw pile lies Pillage and Plunder, which is the next thing that I want to play. It literally would have been the next draw! That's wild. Line up with the enemy and then Pillage and Plunder them. Missile Shot A. It's already upgraded. That's big damage. That's doing a heavy missile as well as a heavy missile for 3 damage as well as an attack for 3. Quantum Quarries here also gain a shard every turn, but the thing is, I've got a lot of shard gain. I don't have a lot of shard expenditure. Missile Shot A is great damage. It's exactly the kind of thing I need right now, especially in an instance where I have to consider the possibility of going for 2 elites in a row and having no other specials on the entire line. Woof. We meet again.
Yo, cool sword.
Thank ye, and now ye shall feel its sting.
Sick. Oh, duel time, good sir?
With utmost honor, if ye wish. Yeah, you got 1 weak spot, I got 1 weak spot. My weak spot's weaker than yours. Sapphire into Meteor seems very appropriate here. And then I can even use Block Evolution to gain another. Okay. I'm gonna go with an EMP slug and then just parallel shift that out of my way. Have a drone shift available for a future turn. Okay. I'm gonna move 1 over and fire a Missile Shot A. With 3 damage to the enemy, it also puts a heavy missile on the field, which is gonna hit the enemy before the next thing comes out, but then also, I wanna put an attack drone on the field in order to prevent the enemy's missile on that side this turn. Ooh, this Meteor would even put me in a much better position. And I don't want to line up with their weak spot as I currently am. Yep, I'll Meteor to get out of there. And then just in terms of resource gain, most appropriate seems a basic dodge, a basic block. Let's drop an attack drone on the field. With a Crystal Shard in hand, draw from it, and then play out a Corrupted Core. Not an amazing turn there, but I do 2 damage to the enemy and I prevent their entire summon. Okay, I move 1 more space over, and that sets me up to use a Missile Shot. Well fought. I cede this fight. Farewell. What? What happened? Why is that? Is that? I mean, it wasn't an elite fight, so I wasn't gonna get a relic anyway. Weird. I'm not certain what the conditionals of that fight that I need to fulfill are. Like, maybe it's accept the honorable duel and then line up the enemy to do damage to one of my weak spots, and then when they do, they feel bad and offer me something. That's the only thing I can think of that would make that make sense. Freeze Dry, the ability to lock an enemy's position. Large boulders for a bunch of asteroids out on the field as well. Nothing wrong with that. You know what? At this point, I do want the large boulders, especially because I get additional energy anytime I destroy a mid-row object. Oh boy, this attack drone's gonna be sick. Lined up with a weak space already. I'm gonna move one space further over and then just stop. I probably should have played the parallel shift at the start of this turn before I did anything else. Alas, this still leaves me well lined up with a space mine. I definitely don't want to do anything about that. That's actually worse. Yikes. But you got me, game. I'm gonna heat sinks out of the way, fire a basic shot, fire a basic block and a basic shot, and then wait. Oh, I really just want to launch a missile shot. So I will. Large boulders won't really help is the thing. Incoming damage this turn is 4. I'm gonna gain shard pack A, 2 crystal shards, and then block evolution. So I don't take any actual damage that turn. Crystal shard, I'll put another crystal shard in hand, alternate to that. Basic dodge. Sure, I'll swizzle shift my way out of there as well. No damage to me. Looking for pillage and plunder. Noting that I can't get that this turn, I'm going to use a basic shot. And then just end my turn here. Actually, I'll fire another basic shot so that I'm better lined up with the enemy on another turn. Okay. Let's use a heat sink and a sapphire shield. Mage hand will kill the enemy at this point. Alright, crystal shot as well. Guess I'm moving out of the direction. Basic shot, crystal shard. Oh man. I'll gain another basic dodge and block evolution for full block. There we go! Pillage and plunder. Finally! Got him. It's worth it for the extra hull, especially when I have another card that cares about that. Perfect specimen. The ability to get a non-temp crystal shard in the deck. More than happy to have that. I could even have a version that allows me to heal 2 every fight still. So I could use that as a way to, you know, do 12 damage and then heal back up with the perfect specimen, maybe. Let's gain the 2 shield and crystal shards. Spend one of them. Parallel shift everything over. Spend another. Alright. I have to use the heat sink before the EMP slug here, but it still signs me up for 6 damage on the enemy and preventing their incoming 5, so I have to be pretty happy about that. I'm looking for a single basic block. I'll move 1 space over and then fire an attack drone to defend me. And then, you know what? I'm not gonna wait until I upgrade this perfect specimen. I only get 1 upgrade this entire floor, and it's at the very end. Okay, let's move one to the left and summon a Geode. I'll put a Crystal Shard in hand and then draw from it. Sapphire Shield as well. And then if I move these over by 1 with a drone, I can stop 2 incoming damage. I don't feel like I have good damage at all. It's because I don't. If I don't play Missile Shot and Attack Drone every time I get them, I don't have damage in this deck. Oh boy. That's not an exciting thing to have figured out here. Gonna be taking 1 hull damage this turn. Crystal Shard leads into large boulders for full protection. And parallel shift everything over by 1. Exposing myself to 1 hull damage, but leaving myself with a Geode on the field, as well as another parallel shift I can use. EMP Slug, yikes. I'm gonna use the basic dodge, move 1 space over and fire another EMP Slug to prevent the attack there. It seems like doing 6 damage that turn, as well as preventing the incoming 5, is just too valuable not to do. Okay, this is definitely a big block evolution turn. If I've ever seen one. Unfortunately, I'm going to be losing some more hull this turn, but fortunately, that will make my attacks stronger. Let's use a Crystal Shard. Oh, that's way better. Swizzle shift my way over, and then I can fire a Missile Shot. It's only 3 damage on the enemy, but it's useful. Crystal Shard alternates me back to being lined up with the enemy. It's Abyssal Vision and basic block as much as I would love to do anything else with that turn. Get an attack drone out on the field. I don't think I can afford to wait for Pillage and Plunder to be the right kill for this enemy, so I'm just gonna use it now. And with Crystal Shard, unfortunately, I did draw from Hell's Heart. Didn't really want to be doing that. Alas. 1 more Mage Hand. Incoming damage is no longer going to actually ruin me. Sapphire Shield and Basic Dodge gives me more utility for a later turn. I really do still want more movement than I have access to. From Hell's Heart, I stab at thee. And in fact, I'll stab you right in your own heart as well. 12 damage to the enemy. 0 draw Bay Overload, and then Battalion. Now the thing about this is Bay Overload is not bad. I do need extra energy, and I only have 1 drone. Oh no, I also have missiles. Those would be launching backwards too. 0 draw. How many 0 costs do I have in the deck? Draw all 0 cost cards from your discard pile. Realistically, that just gets me a bunch of positive draw off of the Crystal Shards. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up to 4 possibly in the discard pile at any time. Heat Sinks could be drawn back theoretically by that. So could Basic Dodge if I upgrade it appropriately. Parallel Shift won't. And then there's battalion, if I wanted to have more objects out on the field. And I do. I could still find space for more objects, I feel. I'm gonna take zero draw. Fracture detection. One random enemy part is made brittle at the start of the combat. I've permanently gained +3 max hull or heal 3 on pickup as well. Yeah, that would make another one of my things better, but I would rather have brittle spaces on the enemy to strike at. This enemy only has 4 spaces. I hope I find one of the brittle ones, please. From Hill's hard on the first turn here. Just for 12 damage against the exact space. I mean, yeah, missile shot is less. Yeah, from Hill's heart. Dang, that's not the brittle place. Let's pop a Sapphire Shield and then Swizzle Shift. And if I move one further over... Okay, I've detected that it is neither of the middle 2 that are brittle at the moment. It's the far left. Easy. Set up some boulders. I can use an attack drone here to defend me. This guard pile has literally 0 costs in it at the moment. Not what I was looking for. Oh, it's fine. Let's meteor my way over to the left here, so I can try and keep my cannons lined up. Speaking of keeping our cannons lined up, that's all we needed to do that turn. There's a lot of incoming damage here, and I don't want it. Turn didn't really get better the entire time. I'm going to be taking 5, so 3 hull damage pretty much no matter what I do. Oof. Not at all where I wanted to be here. I don't think I can stick around to use Pillage and Plunder A at the appropriate time in a Solar Flare. There we go. Shields are fully blocked there. I still lose some hull though. I don't have any movement. Alright, I can get there. 1 space over and EMP Slug takes him out. Woof. There's Bay Overload again. I mean, a Bloodstone Bolt that I can use to heal is pretty sick. I'm gonna take Bay Overload. I think I need it a lot of the time. Drones that attack the enemy pierce or gain a Serenity every 3rd turn. I'm gonna take the Serenity every 3rd turn at the moment. When you shoot an incoming missile, turn it around instead of destroying it. Well, Isaac's Salvage Arm is not really gonna do anything at all this entire fight, as it turns out. Let's put a Crystal Shard in hand. Draw from that. Attack drone, sapphire shield. Only unfortunate thing here is the attack drone is also going to lose itself against a missile. Okay. I reverse your missile, and I fire my own missile. Now I'm going to use the Bay Overload? Really? To what? Pull back 1-0 cost? I don't know, that just doesn't seem useful at all. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna mage hand this one, reversing it. And then I'm going to meteor over this way, taking out a couple of midline objects at the same time. And I can swizzle shift over. I don't want to draw back into large bolters in this fight, so I will actually just expend that to put them out on the field. Get a bunch of energy on a turn where I don't need any of it. I can even reverse that with a pillage. You know what? Sure. Would have been really nice to be able to do more. Fortunately, 4 incoming that turn. Didn't really have the ability to return them. Move one over, missile shot. Bay Overload launches me back to the original position. And sure. Fight'll be done soon. I'm certain of it. Let's gain a crystal shard, swizzle out of there. And sure, shard pack A. I don't even need to play those crystal shards though. They don't give me any resources except for cards that I can't use at the time. Got 4-0 costs in the draw pile if I need those though. Well, that's annoying. Oh no, it's fine. Is it? I might be dead. I don't have the ability to move there. If I summon a shield and put an attack drone down on the field, it'll do 2 damage to the enemy, but it won't save me. I would still have incoming 2 and 6, especially from this midline. Parallel shift probably wouldn't save me either. From Hell's Heart, I would still need to be able to line myself up. Yeah, the fact that I don't have much movement in this deck has really been a killer. Like, I could Mage Hand, preventing this missile from striking me. Annoyingly, if I didn't have the reverse, the Ricochet paddle, I would actually be getting extra energy for taking these out, and if I were getting extra energy for taking these out, I would be able to survive this turn. Yeah, I can reverse one missile, no longer taking that damage, and I gain an extra armor. And then I would have to use an EMP slug on the next one. It'd hit the enemy for 2 damage still. But I'm taking 6. So I did die. Get all of those crystal shards out of the draw pile. I'll be able to play only one cost card after that. Nope, I don't have enough movement. That's a real shame. That's about as close as it can get. We had so much hull. If only I had Hell's Heart upgraded. Ugh. Alas. Yeah, if that final floor had one upgrade, like literally just one thing that wasn't exclusively the elites on that path, I got baited. I got hard baited. I should have looked at my deck and decided, yeah, this isn't a deck that can take on 2 elites. Maybe this is a deck that gets more benefit from going to a bunch of question marks or something like that. Alas, I did not do that, and what I did do is lose about 55 minutes in. That's okay though. It gives us an opportunity to move into the Tide Runner, the newest of our ships, in the next episode. I can tell you, it's probably going to be Books, it's probably going to be Drake. We'll see who else joins them, but until then, my name has been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Cobalt Core. Top left is a series playlist for all my content on the game past, present, and future. YouTube recommendation? Well, that's down below. Straying past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays, at or above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to Sorathil. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.